Now we're gonna have Fahim, and this is the last person. So thank you all for coming.
How y'all doing? I've seen a lot of people been addressing brutality, but a lot of people haven't been addressing mass incarceration. Now, when I graduated from high school, I graduated from Banneker, which is across the street from Howard, National Honor Society, Math Honor Society, French Honor Society. If they had an honor society, I'd have been on that. So I ended up getting caught up because I had to defend myself from someone that was trying to extort me. Because I was in school, getting good grades and all that, but, I still played around, Still, who doesn't, what I mean? Do a little something, this and that. And somebody tried to extort me, and they had just got released from prison from doing about 5.5 years from raping a friend of mine when we were little kids. He said he had went in for a body, his cousins had guns, they could kill and all this other stuff, just came to me like, just cold, like he was going to manage me off. So I defended myself. But there is no self-defense law in DC, period. No, none, point blank. And so when I went in front of them, instead of them giving me the UFAC, because I had no charges, no previous. Matter of fact, I was on the front page of the Metro section of the Washington Post because the Children's Defense Fund had given me this prestigious award called the Beat the Odds Award, which is only given out, they only give it out like 10 people in the whole country get it. It's just, you just, boom, way up there. But when they got me, they was like, oh, we got one. Not gonna let them go. They threw the whole book at me. Everything they could, they threw the whole thing. I get no charge. I got the worst that they could give me plus a year, And that's where they messed up at. Because when they put me inside of the prisons, it was like I hadn't seen that side of men before. You know what I mean? Because on the streets, everybody was like this and that. But what I saw is a lot of the dudes that was feared, a lot of dudes that was out there, they didn't know how to read. They didn't know how to write. And it's an epidemic. So people were talking about solutions. The solutions is care. The solutions is getting back into these neighborhoods and showing these kids like, hey man, we care about y'all. Right now I got a youth media program. Now, first, let me tell you what happened. DC was closing the prison down. So they was closing down Lorton. They sent everybody to Youngstown, Ohio. This is supposed to be a medium security prison. But they just so pressed for money. That's it. They just want the money. DC sent the people that were on 23.5-hour lockdown to the private prison in Youngstown, Ohio. I was on the second load. I was doing 3 to 10. The dude next to me got life in Pennsylvania, 99 years in Maryland, 5 to 15 in DC. There's no way in the world I'm supposed to be around this caliber of criminals. Then not only that, they had no training in prison. They left all the cell doors open 24 hours a day in between all the pods. You could get anything you want. You could get a PlayStation, you could get a TV, you could get, and this is people that just got off of 23.5-hour lockdown. People was getting guns they stopped one because guns, they were sending, it got so reckless, people were sending guns and peanut butter. You know what I mean? Till they, then one big thing happened is one of the guards got to talking to dudes. They opened up, 7 dudes escaped. Do y'all remember when this happened? In Youngstown, I was up there. We got the largest class action lawsuit in the history of the world. The way we were tortured after that happened was ridiculous. I mean, I've never experienced anything like that. I knew slavery was real after I've been through that. It was no question to me that slavery exists because I lived it like for real. It's like, there's no games, there's no, oh, it's like slavery. No, it is slavery, and I'm a survivor of it. So I know. I was naked, shackled like this with the shock shields behind me. I was degraded, like beyond, I was starved. They shut the water off for weeks. We were sitting in there like having to smell our own defecation, and they fed us nothing but cheese and bread. This is like, can you imagine around the time when terrorism hit 9/11? You can't get out. You know what I mean? You can't get out. When I saw that thing that happened to Katrina, I felt so bad for those prisoners because I know all of them drowned right there in them bars. I know they saw all the water coming up. I know they saw their life slipping away from them. And these things, man, are so painful, and it's every day. It's happening right now. When I see that little boy that was on that leash, You know what I'm saying? That was just on the paper right there. I know that's happening right over there on Quincy right now. These little kids do not belong in the same prison with grown, seasoned criminals. That's wrong. You don't put little kids in no prison with no grown men. You don't do that. When was what? The boy, that was in Georgia. That just happened in Georgia. The boy got in there in March. He wasn't in there but for about a few days, and then they tried to jump him into the game. 10 dudes jumped on top of him. He ain't want to join the folks. So they beat him down. And then took a picture of it and it was on Facebook with him. They got him on a leash. You know what I mean? But these things, this is happening right now. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, my solution is I got started a youth media program where I'm teaching the kids how to use the photo equipment, video equipment, this and that, so that they can have their own voice. You know what I'm saying? I'm teaching them, like, we see what recording devices are doing now. You know what I mean? Now imagine them really knowing how to operate this, to cut, put music with it, this and that. This is what I want them to do. I want them to learn how to use that video equipment to help another business. Look, this is how you help this business. Now, if you help this business make money, you know what I'm saying? Other people gonna say, oh, he know how to help these businesses make money. Your business can be like my business, which is to help other people get business. You know what I mean? So if we start teaching them at a young age, start them off at a young age, showing that we care, that erases a lot of that. It builds up a confidence. I see these kids walking around and they're like dead in the eyes. I mean, I don't even see like really no hope really there. I'm like, where's the bright? I don't see no bright eyes. You know what I mean? You need to put that bright eye back into the kids. They have to see hope. They have to feel like, oh, these people care. And then when you have a neighborhood like that, the police can't come into some place like that when everybody knows each other. The way that Tamir thing was supposed to go down is the police was supposed to know who he was and who his mother was and pull up and be like, boy, what you out here playing with them guns like that for? Don't make me call your mother. That's what it was supposed to be. Don't make me call your mother. Oh, my fault, officer, blah, 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 blah. You know, I just got carried away. That's how it was supposed to be. You know what I mean? This stuff that's going on right now where people don't know each other, if they don't know nobody in the neighborhood, they don't belong police in that neighborhood. That's how I feel. You don't belong in my neighborhood if you don't know nobody in it. Because you don't know nobody. You don't know nothing about the neighborhood or the history or the culture or nothing. You don't belong there. That's just how I feel.
Young Brother Fahim. Brother Fahim, I know your very brilliant mother, Burl Kabir, by way of Brandeis and all of that.
Oh, wow.
And your Harvard-educated father is the bomb, I know. And God bless you. I know all about the cancer award you won when you graduated high school that was given to you in Washington, D.C. by the Children's Defense Fund. I just want to recognize you and say it's so good to meet you finally in person and put the face with the name. God bless you.
As I stated earlier, I served 14 years in prison. And one of the things that people need to understand who are part of this movement is that the prison system in this country is the greatest purveyor of violence that goes unnoticed in this country. And so if we are really serious about uncovering injustice and ending mass incarceration and standing up for what's right, we have to put a microscope on America's prisons. Because if you think the atrocities that we see out here on these streets are bad, what they do behind prison walls where there are no cameras, where there are no witnesses, where everybody in there is considered to be not to have credibility, you cannot even imagine the atrocities that take place behind them prison walls. And we have to organize as a community, as a nation, around unveiling and uncovering the injustices that take place in America's prison system. So along with dealing with the use of force and the police brutality out here, we have to deal with the police brutality that happens behind prison walls.
It is absolutely true, and it needs to be acknowledged and talked about for a very long time. When grown men in prison go to take showers and they find the head of another human being decapitated on the floor of the shower with his penis in his mouth and his eyes cut out and his ears cut out and his nose cut out and his tongue cut out. And this is happening in America's prisons. It preceded Abu Ghraib, and it is disgusting. It is a reality. Taxpayers, you're paying for it, and it needs to stop.
So, I was going to add, Brother Fahim, and I'm not sure if you was going to say this, and maybe you were, or you said it and I just didn't hear it, but you said when you went in, one of the things that you experienced was that these brothers that were locked up didn't have no education, they couldn't read, they couldn't write, and knowing who you are now, right, is that what you gave them? Because when I heard the word care, I felt like that not only were you in there, but you were providing them something that they needed, and that was the care of understanding how to learn to read, how to learn to write, and how to learn to express yourself. So just a quick question.
Oh yeah, yes, that's what basically I was doing. I was reading people their Qurans, their Bibles, letters to their family, writing back, because some people didn't know how to write, and then when the classrooms were set up, I was actually teaching them. And then when we got transferred to what was it, Greenville, North Carolina, got transferred to Greenville, South Carolina, or something like that. We were supposed to be released. We got our pink slips, and usually get released 3 months before. And they told me, they said, "Oh nah, you can't be released because you got a violent charge." And I said, "Hold on, but the government, the people that told me, that's responsible for me being here, said I can leave." They said, "No, we're not letting you leave this institution," which was Wackenhut. And I said, hold on, that doesn't even make sense. So what I did was I picked up my pen and I wrote Eleanor Holmes Norton. And I said, they're keeping me here for an extra 90 days. So this every day was, I think it was $50 a day. I said, multiply this 50 times the 90. Now multiply that 90 times the 2,000 inmates that's over here under this. That's how much they milking y'all for money. I was gone in 2 days, and I took 2,000 people with me.
See, and that's brilliant, right? And that, which is echoing what we need in our community, and that's that love and that care that you spoke of, and it just really shows just how we can do it in our community when we engage our young people. And that's why I truly believe, well, Frederick Douglass has a quote that I truly love, and that is, "It is easier to build strong children than it is to repair broken men." You know what I'm saying? And so what you're doing is brilliant. Thank you. And for the younger brothers that are in here, we have to take up this leadership, because when Dr. McKinney said that we have to take it to a different level, it has to be done by the young people, yourselves and others like yourselves, that have that experience to share with the world the real history of what's going on. And I believe my brother here had talked a little bit about it. What crimes have the United States committed? That has to be exposed, because many of us families, when we enter into the criminal justice system, right, we really come in thinking that we're going to get some justice. We really do. And we'll be the first one that says, please, no violence. We're a non-violent family. No violence. Let us get our day in court so we can get this justice, because it's clear that my nephew didn't do anything wrong. And then we get kicked in the face. Yeah. And we come to a different political belief and understanding of how the system works. Institutionalized racism in the criminal justice system is real. The country is hemorrhaging on the criminal justice system, because it's still maintaining a slavery system in its full essence of its existence. And so we have to be clear about that. And though we didn't talk a lot about the prison industrial system, however, it's directly connected to this police brutality and terrorism that we see every day.
Let me